sun hot. But I love, but loving in the burning sun hot, in the burning sun chilling, shellacking. Shellacking.
Trying to figure out.
I wish I never get used to iced coffee. Oh my god.
Why not?
I don't know. I don't think coffee should be cold.
Open up your mind. You also at one point thought you was black too, so try some new things. It ain't gonna hurt you.
I don't think we should be drinking coffee.
Oh,
You don't
goodness.
think so?
Maybe you shouldn't.
I barely drink it though, so every once in a while I'll get coffee, but not often.
No stinking coffee.
Well, then don't drink no stinking coffee.
I don't drink
I'm gonna
no
drink some stinking coffee. Islam Moors, packs at Amor. I wanna come. You wanna come? He got me sitting in the shade. He got me shitting in the shade. I be wanting to see the sun. I come out to see the sun. I don't come out to see the shade. But we gonna work with it. We gonna work with it, y'all. I don't even have my stand. Let's see how quickly Sharon was running out the house. I got black on because today's a black day. Not in status, in color.
Saturday.
Not in status, only in color. Caffeine is not good for you. There's a lot of things that aren't good for you. What things that are not good for you that you still do? I would like to know. Raise your hand and tell us what it is. Because I'm going to drink my caffeine and like it. Can I send you the form, please? No, Tariq. No, I can't, because you wasn't on the meet. Oh, she gonna move it. She
I did not know
it.
you
Go
can
ahead.
leave it
No,
there.
go ahead.
No,
go
I'm
ahead.
gonna get the cherries out
No,
of there.
go ahead. I'm gonna put something else back there.
You sure?
A nab. I need
just get
something.
the cherries.
I need something back there. That's it. That's all I need. I just need something back there because I didn't bring my. I didn't bring my my stand. So yeah, I'm drinking my coffee. I'm making y'all mad. I don't care. I'm making y'all mad.
You want some?
I like coffee. And coffee is cocoa. It's brown like me, and I like all things brown. Give me the data. Give me the qualifying data that tells you coffee's bad. Don't just tell me what you think coffee is. Give me actual factual facts.
Messes with your heart.
How's it? It don't mess with my heart. Mine don't skip a beat or run faster when I drink it. Maybe it's specific people it messes with. I know that's right, Fatima. Going to Dunkin' Donuts. Go get the donuts.
Where they at? They coming?
No, I told her she better keep her little booty butt home. She better keep her butt home. She home chilling, shellacking. Islam. I got so much work here. I got so much stuff here. So you came here to declare and proclaim your nationality? Is that why you're here?
If not,
What are you doing with me? What are you doing with me? What are you doing with me?
He is decorating you.
trying to get flagged up.
What is you doing with who? Oh my goodness. It's all Ineb's fault. Got me in the dirt. I gotta take the phone. I gotta take that phone thing off of here because it rings, and no matter what you're doing, it's going to ring, and it's gonna interrupt. It dehydrates the body. So does alcohol. Do you drink alcohol? Do you drink spirits? Did you drink beer? Do you drink liquor? Do you drink
Hey, all of it.
what do you drink?
Water?
Water?
Water.
Do you drink water?
Alkaline?
What else? Caffeine shrinks the muscles. What muscles? Sometimes causing cramps. What else? Where'd you get that from? Give me your source. Stop calling me, whoever you're calling me. I'm gonna block you. That's all right. I'm gonna block. Let's see if I can block y'all. No, can't do it while I'm on the broadcast. Absolutely not. Oh, it's already on do not call. I don't know how to do it.
My dad might call.
Huh? Your dad might call me?
No.
Oh.
I said I don't block unknown numbers. It might be my dad, so I just want to.
Okay.
That's why I don't do it.
So here we go. We're gonna have to get it here first. Because I be getting a lot of crank calls from Albions because they be mad. I'm gonna call this person from my phone since they want to keep calling me. So give me a second while I call and find out what's the emergency. I bet you it's somebody. I bet you H2. I drink H2O too. I drink water. I drink. Look, y'all. Maybe Tariq. Wait. I ain't gonna mess with you, and I'm not getting you your form. How about that? Since you want to, hello, Pax out to more. Pax out to more. I said, don't call me Alfred. Alfred L. Alfred L. I done had enough of you today, past couple of days. Pax out to more. Hello. There, see, that nobody want nothing. They got me on the phone and they not talking.
Take pictures?
They got me on the phone and they not talking.
Really?
See, look. So they gonna keep calling.
There's this girl from my city. She takes pictures and like.
So how about I keep calling them since they want to keep calling me?
Like,
how about I do
she
that?
tags the people
How about I keep
that
calling
make
you
the clothes,
since
like
you want to call me?
Target. Sometimes they pay her.
Somebody
with
call
the
610. I'm gonna give you the number. If he don't answer or she don't answer again, I'm gonna get a number so y'all call them so they can stop calling me. They don't want to answer the phone. I'm about to give it. If he or she doesn't answer the phone, I'm gonna give you the phone number, and y'all call him and find out why you keep calling Sharon, Tracey, Gale, improprio persona sui juris, improprio solo, improprio heredis, at all times and at all points in time. I am a descendant of the great pharaohs. See, it's a block. Yep. All right, so call 610. What's the phone number? Call 610 as soon as it gives me the number. 615-1488. 610-615-1488. Call that individual and ask them what they want. They need some consulate help. What do they want? I'll try again.
She is making me laugh.
Islam. So what we want to talk about today? You want to talk about the tribunal for the Nam de Gear bond on Monday? I don't even know what time it is on Monday because that's how serious I take things. That from the human traffickers that y'all think are judges, policy enforcers, y'all think they're the government when they're human trafficking you and your babies and you think it's funny. I know it's an agent, but he keeps interrupting my program. That's why he keeps interrupting my program, so I gotta keep calling him so he won't interrupt my phone call. Why you got that out? Who's gonna use it right now?
Trying to get in there.
Huh? Oh, I wasn't paying attention. So are you nationalizing here? You filling out paperwork, or you still trying to figure out who you are?
Kind of just
She's just talking.
But she knows a little something.
I know a
Oh,
little something.
you better know a little more than a little something.
I'm open-minded.
You need my earrings?
I'm very open-minded.
You better be more than open-minded. You better declare and proclaim your nationality. Open-mindedness ain't gonna get the bills paid.
It ain't.
And I don't mean bills, because you don't have bills. Anyway, we actually started a new document, y'all. There was a new updated document. That new updated document was the Universal Affidavit of Termination of all contracts. Of all corporate contracts. And I can read this if you want me to, just to kind of clear the air or to fill the air up. So, I'm going to read the document. Are you going to answer the phone? Are you there? No? Don't want to answer the phone? Do you want to keep calling me? Okay, I can keep calling you. I have time. All right. So it's the Universal Affidavit of Termination of all corporate contracts.
Oh,
It says, I know. I keep calling because he keeps calling and interrupting my broadcast. So if y'all could keep calling him so he can stop interrupting my broadcast, that'd be great. I'll be honest, we ain't warring against y'all. We're peace enforcers. Peace enforcers. I love that, by the way. Thank you. That's all.
Save the number and then
I have the number and block it.
block it.
Yeah, I gotta block it. Let me see if I can do that. How y'all do the block thing? I keep forgetting. So do y'all know the phone number? The phone number was... I get so many messages. It's ridiculous how many messages I get. He's calling with Text Plus. What does that mean? What is Text Plus? I don't know what that means. Anyway, it's universal. It's called Universal Affidavit of Termination of all contracts. Why are we terminating contracts, y'all? One, we know we don't have any, right? But we know that somebody, you got that shirt in 4X, Is that how you ask? You got that shirt in 4X? I'm not answering that until you restate that in a little bit proper English. Where's the you're not offending me, Martell McCoy? I'm just saying. Anyway. I don't got nothing. I don't got nothing.
When's your birthday?
Alright. So here we are. Why are you running over there? Where are you going? You are my cameraman and my IT. He always trying to go chill. Always.
You had me in the picture there?
No, I had you in the picture. Okay, let's do some PR stuff, okay? The first PR stuff is there's a tribunal on Monday at Media Courthouse where we're going to stand on personam jurisdiction and only personam jurisdiction. And where do they keep moving stuff for? What are you doing? You need the camera?
Yeah.
Well, what you gonna put in this place?
Bag.
Okay. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I don't know. Can it stand up?
We're gonna make it work.
No, don't put it that way. Put it the other way.
Okay.
Is it is it gonna stay?
Yeah, to watch it drink because it might.
Is it gonna stay?
You know what? If we can move the table back,
Put it this way.
I can lean it on the tree. Let me see. Move the table a little bit
Go
forward.
ahead. I didn't know that joint moved.
Shit, we can use this.
Please don't fall. Don't do no craziness. It's my fault because I should have bought my stand. I don't know what's going to happen. Something going to happen. Anyway. Islam. Let's see. So, the Sharifian, now, Light wanted to add, Light Tajiri Bey, the Vizir of West region, MXM, wants to add peace in the Sharifian peace officers. So it's going to be the Sharifian peace officers, and they're going to have these shirts. We're going to be walking around with these shirts, and on the back, because on the back of mine, it has Moorish American Consulate, Nationality is the order of the day, and then it has my phone number on the back. But on the back of those shirts, it's going to have Sharifian peace officers. It's going to have Sharifian peace officers. I'm compiling the information. We had several hundred individuals volunteer to be a Sharifian peace officer. We had our first class on. What day was that we had our first class? You weren't there. It was Wednesday. It was Wednesday because he wasn't on the call. It was Wednesday. Our second one will be Tuesday. We'll have it. It's going to be in the place of, I think, I might have to rethink that because Tuesdays I'm usually in New Jersey Republic doing classes up there. So if we have to, for like an hour on Tuesday, we'll have a touch base class to give an update as to how many Sharifian peace officers we have for each territory, and the starting will be the shirts. We're going to order the shirts immediately. We're going to do the badges, establish the badges immediately, and the commissioning documents, the Sharifian peace officer commissioning documents. Again, Moors have to be in their proper person. You can't be Negro, colored, and black. You got to correct your status first before you can even get commissioned, even to be a consul of the Moorish National Republic federal government. So you're gonna have to get you're gonna have to have grid 1 done Wednesday. Yeah. Because I know there's a lot of Moors down in New York that that want to be a part of the class, but I know Darius has his class that starts at 6. So maybe we'll all pull in together during that, but I got to talk to the post head down there, Demetrius Barker Bay, down in New York to kind of sync that up. I'm not necessarily sure. I was like, but what did I want to say? But the first class will be on procedures, on processes, into complete the names or the appellations of everybody who's volunteering to be a Sharifian peace officer. So I'm getting together everybody's phone numbers, everybody's Republic territory that they domicile near, as well as their MAC number. So you have to be MAC. You have to be commissioned with the consulate to do that, okay? I was like, so that's on its way. So everybody sent me a bunch of emails, text messages, but keep in mind the text messages. If you're interested to be a Sharif Peace Officer of the Moorish National Republic Federal Government and the Moorish American Consulate, so we will be enforcing our commands here at Morocco, which is not so-called United States. It is not United States. United States is a corporation that has been leaned by the actual government, the Moorish National Republic Federal Government, for all of their breaches and all of their violations. And it's interesting because I saw an article yesterday that talked specifically about the so-called government, which we know they're not, and they're still hypothecating, and this is part of the reasons why they were leaned. This is part of the reasons why all of these Albions claiming to be white persons, claiming to be Americans, and claiming to be some form of government here at Morocco, this is why they're getting leaned, because it's warring against the actual government, the actual state, and the actual Moorish American nationals. So that is a serious offense, and regardless of how we've been identifying, y'all gonna have to go somewhere else. And love you though, but and what was I saying? I forgot.
About going somewhere else.
No, it was before that. Because, anyway, Mr. Man over there, that's going to get it over there. I'm over there in that camera. Hi. Huh? Somebody's getting married. There's some Albions over there getting married, and they don't even realize they just signed themselves and their babies over to subjugation and wardship status through those marriage licenses of the so-called county, and they don't even know that that's what they do. But we always want to jump and do the same thing that they're doing, so we do the same thing through those so-called marriage licenses. If you look at them, are contracts with the service corporation, just like the birth certificates. Ignorance is not bliss, y'all. Ignorance actually harms you and everybody that you love, that you claim to love. Anyway, so we'll go back to the Sharifian information. They're walking by right now. We'll get back to the Sharifian information on Tuesday. So I'm compiling the information. I'm getting all the documentation and everything together. We're working on the Sharifian Peace Officers commission documents. So I got to organize this together. I'm going to have assistance from Fatima to get that also completed, as well as some other much needed information. So bear with me, because it takes time to get the name, to get all of the appellations together, to sort them out per region. So if something goes down in New York, we make those calls that go on the phone tree, and individuals will be required when you get the commission. It's going to be a part of the requirement when we call that you have to be there. And this is reactive, not reactive, but proactive. It's not reactive, it's proactive. What I mean when I say proactive, meaning we're going to be doing our administrative due process processes within the Moorish National Republic Federal Government and putting everybody on notifications as to everything that we are doing. And in addition to that, so when the Sharifian peace officers come and they're going to be interfacing with those corporate sheriff's offices and those corporate policy enforcer offices, to let them know that you had your chance, you've had us ignorant to a degree, and now we're out of darkness and we're in the light, and we are commanding and governing on our own lands, and nobody has that ability to do but the sovereigns of the land, which is the Moorish American nationals. What you don't see means nothing. So when you say you don't when you say you don't see, that means it just because you don't see it doesn't necessarily mean it's not happening down there. Is my point. Just because you don't see it does not mean it's happening down there. Just give her the links and the information. She got to do the research. She's got to go do her due diligence. You can't give her all that information. Give her the book and get you. I know you should have some more books. Oh, give her the book so she can read the book. You're not gonna give her a crash course in nationality in 20 minutes or an hour or 2 hours. She gotta do her due diligence. Give her the links, give her the files, give her that information. She needs it, but she gotta do her piece. I keep telling you, we can't baby walk people into nationality. So, what do I say? Because he keeps interrupting me because I hear his fucking conversation. Did I just curse? Yes, I did. And he keeps interrupting me, and then I get off my square. I get off my square, and then I don't know where the hell I'm at. Islam. All right. So, but we'll have more information into now in terms of territories where you don't think that you have the demonstrations. They're going to come. Northeast is the beacon. We're organizing and we're strategizing and we're getting everybody together. And as we build, because I'm Northeast region specifically, but the training is going to be open because you're going to have to do this all over Morocco, y'all. Y'all not going to be able to just do it in Northeast. It's going to have to be in Northeast, West, Central, and all the other territories. But I'm compiling the information as well as completing the training, as well as getting the shirts and everything. You're going to go through a specific area to get these things, and all of the viziers of all of the regions are going to assist you in doing that. Islam? I was like, so what was I saying? I was saying something specific. And Taj Tariq Bey had a class on the 9th, which was a very, very great class. He was down in the Republic of Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland, and he was talking about bonds. And I wanted to, and I added on the website the mantra. The mantra, it keeps evolving because so much great information is to be increased and added to it. Islam, I wonder if I put it on this phone because I did post it on social media. The part that I added, because we know what the mantra is I am Sharon Tracey Gale Bay, a Moorish American national, in proprio persona, sui juris, in proprio solo, in proprio horetis, at all times and at all points in time. I'm so glad he moved. I ain't going front. I am a descendant of the great pharaohs of Kemet and the Moabites and the Canaanites. I am the law and I am the government, and I command you state your name and nationality for the record, on the record, without further comment. You do not have jurisdiction over me, and I command you set me free, return my property, and cease and desist all actions against me, as this is my notice of intent to lien you, if you do not do as commanded and set me free. Notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. Now, what Taj had is in regards to the reversionary statement. And in regards to the reversionary statement, it says, in law, I do not stand as security for your false debt of the Jesuit order, being the United States Corporation Company and its franchise municipalities and corporates and corporate business public, right? So what he's saying when he says that is, can I just put this on here? Put this thing. I tell you, and Ned be trying to jack me over here. Got this thing flying in my face. So the point is, what does he mean by that? Keep in mind, we're building through something. So when we talk about the sin your mother put you in, when we talk about the sin your mother put you in, that sin was the birth certificate and the social security card. The sin was the birth certificate and the social security card, because that was the commercial document that they needed. They absolutely need that, which is why when you're in those hospitals, they try and intimidate you and put fear within you, because they need that document, because it is their survival in the hypothecation of your vast estate. What am I saying? What I'm saying is, through that birth certificate and that social security card, they create and establish the nom de guerre in all capital letters, and sometimes refer to it in proper English. What they do when they do that is they create a corporation company. They create a nom de guerre, a man of straw, something that does not exist and only exists on paper. But because your mother and your father were the ones that established that through that contract, that's not a contract, is a presumed contract, and ignorance is why people are subject to it, because they don't realize what government is, what nationality is, who they are, and because they don't know, they went into these educational systems where they don't really get knowledge, they get indoctrination They have no way of defending themselves when they are violated or attempts at violations through these service corporations called so-called policy enforcers, called counties, even sheriffs, because sheriffs are at the same level of a police enforcer. They don't have any lawful standing, they don't have any status, and they don't have any authority to do the things that they're doing here at Morocco. The only reasons why they got big and they got bad is because a lot of our people go to them willingly and submit those contributions, those donations, those gifts, so they don't get messed with, right? I was like, so what I'm trying to say is that without mom doing the birth certificate and the social security card and giving you away essentially to the corporate state as property, they took those two documents, created a corporation, and started transferring and creating debt for themselves, but holding you as surety for that debt. So that's kind of what that statement is talking about. I'm not going to stand as surety for your debt. I've declared and proclaimed my nationality. I am not that nom de guerre, and you don't have jurisdiction over me. And that's where in personam jurisdiction it really is. And it's jurisdiction over the person, over the body, over the natural being. We got to fix the sin mommy put us in. Ignorance. You can sit here and still claim I'm black, I'm a black American, or there's no such thing as a black American, or I'm a African American, or I'm a Negro colored or black. Those nom de guerres are why you are suffering today, because you're aligning yourself with the very people who are forcing you to work in the POW camps, and forcing you to work in those plantations because you won't be yourself and you won't administer and govern yourself. You can't govern yourself if you're calling yourself a Negro, colored, and black. You don't know law, and you don't even know how to behave in a society. And Prophet Noble Juwali said, I want to read his statement because I was talking about it yesterday, and I was talking about it with light. The divine warnings of the Prophet. Is it divine? The divine warning by the Prophet. You can search most of this stuff because, like I said, we're in the age of information. So you stand in the sandbox over there playing a Negro colored black game, while the whole world is declaring and proclaiming their nationality and self-governing. You're choosing to say, I don't want to self-govern. I want to still be a nom de guerre. I want to still play the Monopoly game. I want to still be outside of myself. I want to still partake in the sins that our mother put us in. So you're gonna play in a sandbox, but guess what the sandbox is gonna turn into? It's gonna turn into a concentration camp, and you're gonna think you're still playing, and ain't nobody playing with you. You're playing by yourself. So So I'm gonna read it. It says the divine warning by the Prophet for the nation. And we always got to keep things in context, and we always got to realize that just like the Bible, just like the Quran, just like all of the ancient cultural texts that you think is dogmatic religion, just like all of them have been hypothecated. So until you gain knowledge of who you are and knowledge of real history, etymology, and the actual meaning of words, things will deceive you, and you'll be allowing yourself to be deceived because of your ignorance and incompetency. So I'm going to read these things, even though there's going to be so many words in here that don't treat to Moors in their nativity or their nationality, because you're not a citizen and you never can be a citizen. And to be a so-called United States citizen, look up 18 USC 911. 18 USC 911. You can't be a United States citizen. Why? Why can't you be a United States citizen? You should know that. You should be competent enough to know why you can't be a United States citizen. Why can't you be a United States citizen? Somebody posted why you can't be a United States citizen. No, they don't teach it. No, they don't. And it's intended because a lot of those Moorish science temples or Moorish science temples in name only, and they've incorporated themselves, which means dissolve their de jure status and standing, which is why they don't make laws or enforce law or even teach it. Because they are corporations and they've aligned their infrastructure to this falling, sinking Titanic called the United States Service Corporation. That's why. And that's why those incorporated temples, more science temples, have been leaned, because they are corporations and they have breached their duty as sheiks, and grand sheiks is to enforce and make law. Not only to enforce and make law, but to teach it. If you can't enforce and make laws if you're not teaching it, you cannot enforce or make laws if you're not teaching it. So they're in breach. They're in breach, which is they started their breach not by us saying that they're in breach. They started their breach by not enforcing or creating laws and incorporating them under a service corporation, dissolving them of their de jure sovereign status. So the divine warning of the prophet for the nation. And I'm going to read this specifically because I think you need to hear it. For the prophet, from the prophet Juali. And we have to be clear, and we have to be clear, and we have to be clear on what a prophet is. What is a prophet? What is the definition of a prophet? The thought of Allah. And what is a thought of Allah? I just went down the rabbit hole. A prophet is a manifestation of Allah. Allah brings prophets. Why does prophets come? Why does he bring prophets? Why do they manifest from the thought of Allah? Because Allah, which is your mother, your father, which is your beacon light, wants to get you out of your sin. So when sin gets too high, before, it's like your mom. It's like your mom. When she tell you don't go outside after 5 o'clock. If she tells you not to go outside after 5 o'clock and you go outside after 5 o'clock, she gonna send you a warning, right? She gonna warn you the first time you breach. Why'd you go outside? I told you not to go outside after 5 o'clock. And because our mothers love us, they'll sit at, the first time they warn us, they'll just say, don't do it again. The next time we do it, and we come in, she'll look at you. And now she's fumigating because you're creating sin. You're in sin. So what does she do ultimately after she's told you numerous times, sent numerous prophets, and sent numerous warnings for you to get back into honor? Okay, well, she sends a prophet and say, y'all got to stop going to freak outside after 6 o'clock. And if you continue to go outside after 6 o'clock, all right, well, now the wrath comes. And the wrath comes in a multitude of ways. And they can never be transcribed in verbal ability. I can't tell you that she's going to whip that ass. She's going to make the bones bleed. She's going to make the bones bleed. I'm just saying. Anyway. So let's read the divine warning of the prophet, and then I'm gonna get through this document because this is my document, and I command all you Moors to do the same because I'm going to talk about it in a couple of seconds. But let's get to this part. I want to get to this part. And did I tell you I loved you today? I love you every day. Sometimes I love you to the point where I ain't answering your calls because you're getting on my damn nerves. I'm just gonna say it. And I'm not political. Y'all want me to be political? I'm not her. So check that. Check that. I am not political. I'm not a politician. I am Sharon, Tracey, Gale, Moorish, American National. I am a mother. I am a matriarch, right? I'm here because I need to be here. I'm here to build this up, to assist our nation in building it because I love my daughter. I love my sons. I love everybody that I meet, regardless of if they're Asiatic or Albion, regardless if they're Negro or colored or black. I love y'all of y'all, but y'all gonna get in honor. Y'all gonna do that. Because I'm not the one going to be whipping you. It's going to be mama going to be whipping you. I'm going to be like, all right, I did my part. Going to the island, going to my waterfall where my cabin is, and now I'm going to kumbaya and just let y'all go and get your ass whipped. I'm just saying, if y'all don't get in honor. I love you, though. I do. I'm just going to say, I love all people. I love the Albions, even though they be tripping me, getting the fuck on my nerves. I love them, too. Because they are sons just like everybody. Everybody's our sons. Everybody's our sons and daughters. They all have to answer to our commands. They don't have a choice. That's why they over there having convulsions and fucking having goddamn exorcisms. Because they mad. They got to listen. They ain't got no choice. They be trying to act like they have a choice, but no, they freaking don't. Anyway, the divine warning by the prophet for the nation. And I'm going to tell you why. That because they'll call me, send me text messages, call me all types of stuff, and I'll be like, I can't ever be that. That's That's an impossibility for me to be that. Because I'm just going to say. Anyway, so I'll indulge them. Let me just read this because, you know, I'm going down the rabbit hole. The citizens of all free national governments, according to their national constitution, are all of one family bearing one free national name. Sometimes we got to use citizens because you ain't going to overstand. And back when the prophet wrote this divine warning, he was talking to people who didn't... If you say national, I'd be like, who are you talking about? Because just like how when you say indigenous, they still don't even know who you be talking about. They'd be like, who's indigenous Indians? Who's the natives? Who the national? How he ain't talking to us? Y'all get all in your feelings and he talking directly to you. I'm talking about Barack H. Obama when he signs the rights of the indigenous people and none of y'all got the memo. that he was helping y'all, but because y'all think y'all black, Negro, and colored, y'all missed the mark. That's called ignorance. That's called incompetency, right? So he has to bring his language down to speak to you so you can hear and see what he's saying. And when you get knowledge and when you get competency, then you'll know exactly what he's saying. And then you'll be like, oh, okay, I got it. Because what is a citizen? You need to read up what a citizen is. A citizen is hold to a sovereign. If you're sovereign, can you be citizen at the same time? Can you be a sovereign citizen? It's an impossibility. And to claim to be a sovereign citizen is to claim you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Because you can't be sovereign and a citizen. You're either sovereign with powers or you're citizens without and subject. Islam? So I'm going to read that again. Huh? Exactly. So the citizens of all free national governments, according to their national constitution, are all of one family bearing one free national name. So you all come from one family bearing one free national name. That's Moor. Those who fail to recognize the free national name of their constitutional government are classified as undesirables and are subject. They're classified as undesirables and are subject. They're classified as undesirables and are subject to all inferior names of their and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. That reigns supreme. I'm going to read that again. Those who fail to recognize the free national name of their constitutional government are classified as undesirables and are subject to inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. So what did I say? I said if you don't want to declare and proclaim your nationality, you're going to be subject to the sovereigns or the nationals and however they wish to treat you. So right now you have individuals claiming to be citizens, which are immigrants, aliens, and foreigners, who are subjecting you to all harsh and undesirable treatments because of your lack of nationality, your lack of knowing law, and you acting like you know stuff when you don't know nothing. And when you speak about it, you say, oh, I could just do a Google search. I did a Google search. And this is what I came up with. And you don't realize, you may think that you're smart, but everybody who might be competent standing around you like, this is a Negro if I ain't never seen one. And that's exactly what they're thinking about you. So they'll violate you because you violated yourself by not knowing the law, so you don't get violated. So if you get pulled over by a policy enforcer, a highwayman, a human trafficker, and you don't know what to say, the very thing you should never say is calling somebody else's nom de guerre because you're in fear. So now you create more sin because of your fear. And fear, which is false information appearing to be real, is why many of us are subjecting not only ourselves but our whole tribes to the violations of one another because of our ignorance. So these citizens, these immigrants are violating you because you first violated yourself by not knowing nationality and not standing on law and not knowing what law truly is and not knowing that these people have been violating you because of your ignorance, even though they created that whole circle of deception through the school systems, through the hospitals, through every avenue. They've cornered you off, but the realities are your mother and your father were supposed to know who they were and supposed to teach you the things that you needed to know. So all of our people are sitting here right now having children and subjecting them to this ignorant status that they're in, leaving them completely defenseless to defend themselves currently. And it is a sin for any group of people to violate the national constitutional laws of a free national government and to cling to the names and the principles that delude to slavery. You're clinging to the names and the principles that delude to slavery. You're clinging to the names and the principles that delude to slavery. How are you doing that? By calling yourself a Negro, colored, and black and identifying as that and not fixing the sin your mother placed you in and gaining knowledge as to how to live harmoniously under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You can't have love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice if you're identifying as a nom de guerre, as a fiction, and then wondering why you get violated and you don't know how to remedy that situation by standing on in personam jurisdiction. In personam jurisdiction. I, the prophet, was prepared by the great God Allah, all law, the great God Allah, to warn my people to repent, from their sinful ways and go back to the state of mind of their forefathers, divine and national principles, that they will be law abiders and receive their divine rights as citizens, meaning nationality, according to the free national constitution that was prepared for all free national beings. All free national beings. They are to claim their own free national name in religion realignment. You can't claim to be a nom de guerre. You can't claim to be a United States citizen. You can't claim that this is a government, and you can't sit here and claim these things and think that you're not going to be violated by these very sinful things that you're claiming to, because you think that this is for play. And you're scared and you live in fear. And all of the things that we've been doing our entire life has been continuing the subjugation of our people through calling human traffickers on our tribal members, because we don't know how to fix our own problems, because you're moving the camera, because they're interlopers. You got it, because they're interlopers and hypothecators, but they need you to call them so they can involve themselves for their commercial reasons, because they're not involving themselves because they give a damn about you or the situation you're dealing with. They are trying to donate. They are looking for you to contract with them so they can violate. And the one that they want the most, or the one that has the most interest, is the one that they're going to violate. And it 9 times out of 10 going to end up being that Asiatic woman who thinks that who involved the policy enforcers into her life, and now they're violating. And there's a multitude of ways that we do this. We'll get into those, but I want to finish what I was reading, because you need to know the divine warning statements of the prophet. This is my due process. This is my due process to the peoples of the lands for all the violations that y'all do every day and think that y'all gonna continue to do so, when the whole world is waiting for this beacon of light here called Northwest Mexico to get it together. And that's where the Sharifian peace officers come in. That's where we instill the peace on our land. Because right now there is war on our land, but we're not the ones warring. Everybody is warring against us because they are mad about the change in regime, the change in power. And the only reasons why they had power to begin with is because that we were under occupation. What? What is he talking about? What is Islam? All right, so where was I at? You doubt whether I, the prophet, and the principles are right for the redemption of my people. Go to those that know law in the city hall where we are right now, in the city hall and among the officials, the so-called officials in your government, and ask them under an intelligent tone, and they will gladly render you a favorable reply. For they are glad to see me bring you out of the darkness into the light. We're talking about those Albions that were at one point. They have been distinguished. They have been terminated from all their judiciary and trustee powers through the liens, because we have been going to them in an intelligent tone through our written affidavits and our administrative due process. We have been telling them, look, we are awake. We are self-governing. You are no longer authorized to do any of these corporate activities here at Morocco, including accepting a fraudulent and unlawful form of currency for payment in debts, which is a violation of the Constitution. I'm not going to tell you exactly what I'm talking about. You have to gain knowledge. You have to stand on your own 2 feet. Money doesn't make the man. It is its free national standards and power that makes a man and a nation. The wealth of all national governments, gold and silver and commerce, belong to the citizens alone. I'm going to say that again. The wealth of all national governments, gold and silver, and commerce belong to the citizens alone, and without your national citizens by name and principles, you have no true wealth, and are hereby calling on all true citizens that stand for the national free government and the enforcement of the Constitution to help me in my great missionary work, because I need all support from all true American citizens of the United States of America. Now they're talking about Albions at one point when they did have that infrastructure. Help me to save my people who have fallen from the constitutional laws of government. I am depending on your support to get them back to the constitutional fold again, that they will learn to love instead of hate, and will live according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, supporting our free national Constitution of the United States of America. What am I saying? I said a lot. He said a lot. I'm going to see if you catch it. I love my people, and I desire their unity. I love my people and I desire their unity and mind back to their own national and divine standards, because day by day they have been violating the national and constitutional laws of their government by claiming names and principles that are unconstitutional. If Italians, Greeks, English, Chinese, Japans, Turks, and Arabians are forced to proclaim their free national name and religion before the constitutional government of the United States of America, it is no more than right that the laws should be enforced upon all American citizens alike and all other governments. When a man is born and raised there and asked by his national descent name and he fails to give it, he is mistreated, imprisoned, or exiled. Any group of people that fail to answer up to the constitutional standards of law by name and principle, because to be a citizen of any government, you must proclaim your national descent name, because they place this trust upon issues and names formed by their forefathers. So what he's saying here is that you can't claim to be a law-abiding citizen with a law-abiding citizen of anything if you haven't claimed your free national name. And a nom de guerre, a so-called 14th amendment, it's actually you're proclaiming to war against the nation, because you want to stand up for a fraud, for a hypothecation, and that's why you get victimized. So when you say you are a Negro, colored, and black United States citizen, you automatically put yourself subject to all of the atrocities that our people, as well as Albions alike, have been suffering because of their breach of standing up for who they particularly are. And he already said, if you're an Italian, you gotta be an Italian. If you're, I don't want to go back and miss my spot. Where am I at? It is no more than right. Okay, I did that. I did that. The word Negro deludes in Latin, in the Latin language, to the word nigger. And you can only be a nigger if you have RH negative and RH positive blood, just so you know. So when somebody calls you a nigger and you know you ain't a nigger, it shouldn't affect you because you know you're not one. The same as the word color deludes to anything that is painted, tarnished, or dyed. And every nation must bear a national descent name of their forefathers, because honoring thy fathers and thy mothers, your days will be lengthened upon this earth plane. These names have never been recognized by any true American citizen on this day. Through your free national name, you are known and recognized by all nations of the earth, and that are recognized by the said national government in which they live. The 14th not and the 15th not amendments brought the North and the South in unit, placing the Southerners, who were at that time without power, with the constitutional body of power. And at that time, 1865, the free national constitutional law that was enforced since 1774 declared all men equal and free. We're talking about men. All men equal and free. And if all man are declared by their free national constitution to be free and equal, since that constitution has never been changed, there is no need for the application of the 14th and the 15th Amendment for the salvation of our people and citizens. You don't need a 14th or a 15th Amendment, and that so-called not amendment that never was ratified because the actual government adjourned sine die in 1861 prior to 1865. So they never had the ability to establish any so-called new laws after that, because it ceased to exist a de jure government and started to operate as a corporate foreign corporation out in London, chartered and established and created. So you don't need the 14th Amendment or the 15th Amendment, but those two amendments that never were ratified and is still not positive law and is a statute, code, and ordinance that does not have the delegation of authority to give it weight. That's what they utilized in order to get so-called Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to sit here and try to be an injured party when they're not even a party to the Constitution, because the 14th and the 15th Amendment was never ratified, and it can never be ratified because of the year for which they were established, which was 1865, after the de jure government was overthrown. Not necessarily overthrown, ceased to operate. I'm saying a lot. I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. So all you needed was to declare and proclaim your nationality and to act in your nativity to be recognized by anyone. Because outside of that, claiming to be a nom de guerre, claiming to be a Negro, colored, black, African American, or an African is to claim that you are still lost at sea. And you have to fix the sin your mother put you in. So there isn't but one supreme issue for my people to use to redeem that which was lost, and that is through the above statement. Then the lion and the lamb can lie down together in yonder hills, and neither will be harmed, because love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice will be reigning in this land. In those days, the United States will be one of the greatest civilized and prosperous governments of the world. But if the above principles are not carried out by the so-called citizens and my people in this government, the worst is yet to come. And you're going through that right now. Because the great God of the universe is not pleased with the works that are being performed in North America by my people, which are the nom de guerres running around acting like they're acting on behalf of a government when they're acting on behalf of a service corporation. So they're warring against their own nation through those nom de guerres. The worst is yet to come, because the great God of the universe is not pleased with the works that are being performed in North America by the people, and this great sin must be removed from the land to save it from enormous earthquakes, diseases, etc. And I, the prophet, do hereby believe that this administration of the government, being more wisely prepared by those genius citizens that believe in their free national constitution laws and through the help of such classes of citizens, I, the prophet, truly believe that my people will find the true and divine way of their forefathers and learn to stop serving carnal customs and merely ideas of man that have never done them any good but have always harmed them. So, I, the prophet, are hereby calling upon aloud with a divine plea to all true American citizens to help me to remove this great sin which has been committed and is being practiced by my people in the United States of America, because they know it is not the true and divine way, and without understanding they have fallen from the true light into utter darkness of sin, and there is not a nation on earth today that will recognize them socially, religiously, politically, or economically. This is why you are violating and you're victimized continuously. In their present condition of their endowments, in which they themselves try to force upon civilized world, they will be refrained from such sinful ways of action, and their deeds have brought Jim Crowism, segregation, and everything that brings harm to human beings on earth. And if they fought the Southerners for all these great misuses, but I have traveled to the South and I have examined conditions there, and it is the works of my people. It is the works of my people continuously practicing the things for which bring dishonor, disgrace, and disrespect to any nation that lives the life. And I hereby calling on all true American citizens to buy moral support and finance to help me in my great missionary work to bring my people out of the darkness into the marvelous light. That was from the prophet. What did he said a lot. He was banging that ass. I'll just tell you that. He was really banging it. He was banging it because he was trying to let you know, no, you're not a victim. You're actually the perp. You're not a victim. You're actually the perp. Because we do things every day when we go into those plantations, which we think are JOBs, and we violate our very constitution, our very principles, our very nature, our very culture, our very world. We're doing that by diluting to names that don't service us and were never talking to us. So now let's talk about, that's the sin. So now when you sit here and get thrown out of apartments because you didn't pay your rents, well, they have that ability to do all of those things because you first sinned by not knowing law and not enforcing law. But more importantly, you can't know and enforce law until you know and enforce who it is that you truly are. And that is your nativity. That is your Moroccan flag, and standing in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and aligning yourself and your nation and building your government. So Sharifian peace officers are going to be on the grounds to instill the peace, because some people think that we're playing with them. We're not playing. There is no play. We are going to bring, the government's already here, and we've done our due diligence to let you know we're coming. And it is in your best interest, when you get those lawful notices in due process, for you to vacate those buildings. And for all you corporate sheriffs and corporate policy enforcers, when we send you notifications to your places of business, it is your duty. You are commanded by this said government to make sure your citizens, which are Albion in nature and only can be Albion in nature, vacate those premises. That is your responsibility. So when we send you notification, it is your due diligence and your responsibility to make sure they move within 30 days of receiving those notifications from those properties before we could gain interest. And we, the Sharifian peace officers, come in there and effectuate our commands that we give in peace and in honor always. So, I said a lot. This universal affidavit of termination of all corporate contracts. Why are we doing this? Because me and Light Tajiri Bey, we really were sparring over contract law, and that's why I did the 2 classes that I did, to let you know what is a contract and what is not a contract. But first, you have to know law, and first you have to be law has to apply to you, because the only way law can apply to you is if you actually know it and you are in your proper person. But you will get violated by these so-called citizens, by these immigrants, by these Albions consistently and constantly, as well as your own people wearing turbans and fezzes, acting as if they are on the side of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and they're violating you as well. That's why you're being violated. That's why they are violating you and victimizing you and doing all the things that they're doing, because you are in sin, and they know that you're in sin because they put you into the schools, they put to all the social engineering TV broadcasts, and they've been doing that. So think about it this way. Think about it this way. Were there so-called police officers 50 years ago? Policy enforcers? Think about it. Before they start putting things on the grounds, they put it in the TV, the television. So they started pushing all these so-called policy enforcer departments and corporations before they actually were boots on the ground, right? And because we utilize, and still to this day to some degree, utilize that so-called television to learn, to gain knowledge, because we go to institutions that enforce what you see and hear on broadcast as well as on television stations. They enforce it. They enforce that propaganda on the people, and then they bring it in the streets. So now you are overrun by individuals who turned in their gang suits and their so-called mafia mentality and traded them in for so-called badges and so-called uniforms, and y'all have been violating again, as always, for fiat, been a part in aligning yourselves with those organizational structures that are here as mercenaries and highwaymen and bandits and terrorists and outlaws and human traffickers. So when you keep calling them these things that they are not, and you keep subjecting yourself to a jurisdiction that does not treat to the nativity of you or your nationality, you are in sin. So again, all you state is the mantra, and you don't state nothing else. And you don't answer their damn questions. You don't pass that damn bar when they call that nom de guerre, because the only reasons you're making those special appointments, those special appearances, is because they are bandits, terrorists, and outlaws, as well as human trafficking. You stand behind that bench because you are not a party to that activity. You were there so they don't violate you. You are there in peace while they're warring against you, but trying to make it seem through the whole world that they are not. They need to be here. No, you don't need to be here in any capacity. If you're not going to be here on love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice as the subjects that you absolutely are paying tribute to the Moroccan government, you're not going to be on this landmass, no matter how you identify. Because the government speaks and our words are supreme. Supreme to all, no matter what you see or what you hear, but you have to be able to look at all of the signs and sigils with your third eye, right? So you say the mantra, I am Sharon, Tracey, Gale, Bay. When they call the so-called nom de guerre, you don't go up, you don't stand up when they do their little dance to that so-called Bible, because that Bible is not our salvation, it is their salvation. Our salvation is through the Holy Quran. Their salvation is the Bible, as well as their condemnation, as the prophet talked about. We're going to condemn them with their own book, because that is their book towards salvation. And those are the steps that they were supposed to be following. So you don't stand when they do pledge to allegiance to a banner, because you're aligning yourself to a service corporation. That is subject matter. That is jurisdiction as well. So when they sit here and call the so-called nom de guerre, all you do is open up your piece of paper and you say, I am Sharon Tracey Gale, Moorish American National, in proprio persona, sui juris, in proprio solo, in proprio haredas, at all times and at all points in time. I am a descendant from the great pharaohs of Kemet and the Moabites and the Canaanites. I am the law, I am the government, and I command you state your name and nationality for the record on the record without any further comment. You do not have jurisdiction over me, and I command you set me free, return my property, and cease to desist all actions against me. You do not have jurisdiction over me. Notice the agent is notice the principal, notice the principal is notice the agent. This is my notice of intent to lien you if you do not do as commanded and set me free. I do not consent to stand as surety for your corporate jet. That's the additional one that I added to the mantra. And then when they keep trying to call you and keep trying to call you and get you to identify under that nom de guerre, you keep saying that over and over again. When they keep saying stuff, you keep saying that over and over again. You keep saying that over and over again, and you don't say nothing else. In personam jurisdiction. That means we don't answer their questions. That means if you need to have it in your pocket. If you get pulled over by a human trafficker, if somebody tries to talk to you under whatever pretense, you just say, I am Sharon Tracey Gale, Moorish American National, in proprio persona, sui juris, in proprio solo, in proprio haredas, at all times and at all points in time. I am a descendant of the great pharaohs of Kemet and the Moabites and the Canaanites. I am the law, I am the government, and I command you state your name, nationality, for the record on the record without any further comment. You do not have jurisdiction over me, and I command you set me free, return my property, and cease and desist all actions against me. This is my notice of intent to lien you if you not do as commanded and set me free. Notice the agent, notice the principal, notice the principal, notice the agent. And that's all you say. And you say absolutely nothing else. You say absolutely nothing else. And I know, because we know law and we can stand on law, we want to sit here and have conversations. We don't have any conversations. We stand on in personam jurisdiction and we don't say absolutely nothing else. You can use it. The UK, what is the United Kingdom? Do the research. All lands is Asia. All land is Asia, and all land is for the Asiatics, because Asia is Asiatic. We are Asiatic. So all the land masses are Asia. So they apply everywhere. All places, because it's all Moroccan soil. So yes, use that. Use it. So it's called the Universal Affidavit of Termination of all corporate contracts, which you just posted more on the platform. And this is why are we doing this? Because like I said, I had concessions in regards, because we don't have contracts, which is why I did 2 classes on contract law, so you know what a contract is, what a contract is not, and how to navigate appropriately in competence. So you can't have a contract. It's impossible for you to have a contract. First of all, you don't know who you are. Somebody who's incompetent, who's identifying as a nom de guerre, don't know who they are, so they can't sign a freaking contract. Secondly, you're not in your proper person. Thirdly, they gave no consideration. Secondly, they gave no due process disclosure as to the true meaning of that contract. They did none of those things. So you got to read the elements of contract law and stand on that law. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. That's why our people are violated every day, because they sit here and subject themselves to a foreign corporation that has no status or standing here. This cancellation of debt cancellation of debt affidavit. I think this is affidavit. It's MACN-A 018. I think it's 018, but don't quote me on that. Go look at the Moorish American Consulate grid under the affidavit section and go find out which one it is and go download that. And then when you open the document, I'm going to read it, because this is the cancellation that I did for me and all 3 of my heirs. I did it for me and all 3 of my heirs, and I'm going to tell you why I did it. And why you're going to do it, because you're commanded by the government to do it. You got to do it. I'm just saying. Sharon Tracey Gale, Sharon T. Gale, Sharon Gale, and all derivatives thereof established using the employee identification number, EIN, fraudulently referred to as a social security number. And I'm not going to leave the numbers. Y'all see it on the website. Along with my descendant heirs. That's Trayvon. That's the nom de guerres, Trayvon Richard Gale, Trayvon R. Gale, Trayvon Gale, and all derivatives thereof established using the employee identification number, EIN, fraudulently referred to as a social security number in its derivatives. Valise Shayla Pitts, Valise S. Pitts, Valise Pitts, and all derivatives thereof established using the employee identification number, EIN, fraudulently referred to as a social security number. DeCorey Christopher Pitts Jr., DeCorey C. Pitts Jr., DeCorey Pitts Jr., and all derivatives thereof established using the employee identification number, EIN, fraudulently referred to as a social security number, and the 3 derivatives of the so-called social security number. That's with the dashes, without the dashes, and then with the spaces. I am Sharon Tracey Gale Bay, improprio personas, sui juris, improprio solo, improprio heredis. I am an Aboriginal, Indigenous, Sovereign, Moorish, American national at all times. I am a descendant of the great pharaohs of Kemet and the Moabites and the Canaanites. I am a living heiress to all land, all natural resources, and all commercial contracts. Nunc pro tunc. I, Sharon Tracey Gale Bay, hereby terminate and abolish forever all contracts, charters, trusts that exist in the name of Sharon Tracey Gale, Sharon T. Gale, Sharon Gale, and all derivatives thereof, to include my heirs listed above. Also, to include all issued by the United States Corporation Company and the United States Service Company Corporation, the United States, and all corporations, to include the attached misrepresented instruments, nunc pro tunc. Those are certificates of live birth, and I listed them all out. Identification and privilege cards, and I listed them all out. All credit reports, and I listed them all out. All IRS tax forms, filings, and transactions fraudulently issued by the United States Corporation Company and any and all derivatives, agents, principals, and assigns. Student identification cards. Marriage license, never did that, so I didn't have to do that, but I kept that there because some of you sign contracts for which you have to distinguish. Voter registrations, student loan bills, U.S. Department of Education, American Education Services, Navy Department of Education Loan Services Corporation, Verizon Wireless, fraudulently issued corporate accounts, Verizon Files, fraudulently issued corporate accounts, all health insurance contracts, driver's licenses, and all transportation contracts, checking and savings accounts, and all ATM credit cards, all insurance contracts, all bonds, citations, tickets, corporate cases, established fraudulently using the employee identification numbers, EIN, known as social security numbers, listed above. All allodial conveyances, fraudulently listed, and I listed those out. All loan servicing companies, all mortgage companies, all third-party collection agencies and accounts, all cable corporations, Xfinity Corporation, credit collection services companies, and then the last 2 was all other corporate contracts that exist in the name of Sharon T. Gale, Sharon Tracey Gale, Sharon Gale, Trayvon Richard Gale, Trayvon R. Gale, Trayvon Gale, Valise Shayla Pitts, Valise S. Pitts, Valise Pitts, DeCorey Christopher Pitts Jr., DeCorey C. Pitts Jr., DeCorey Pitts Jr., and any and all other aforementioned derivatives, there whether public, private, known, or unknown, are hereby terminated. All corporations, all caps, capital corporations, corporation contracts with any social security numbers, to include the social security number with the dashes, without the dashes, and with the spaces, for me and all 3 of my heirs. And any derivatives thereof are hereby terminated, and all corporations established with these employee identification numbers listed under the GMI utility website at https://www.gmeutility.org are all canceled. All the fraudulent contracts issued by the said corporations in the name of Sharon Tracey Gale, Sharon T. Gale, Sharon Gale, and any and all derivatives thereof have been terminated. I, Sharon Tracey Gale Bay, am not a United States corporation citizen, nor a United States corporation citizen in proper English, or a citizen of the United States of America, nor a citizen at all. I am an Aboriginal, Indigenous, Natural, Divine, Sovereign Authority on this land of America, and I possess lawful, national, international, universal titles, charters, trusts, and identification documents that are Aboriginal, Indigenous, Sovereign, de jure, Moorish, National Republic, Federal Government titles, charters, trusts, and identification documents, of which I am part and parcel. All other foreign corporate contracts, trusts, and documents are notwithstanding. All corporations are the trustees of their own debt at all times and at all points in time, Proper notification was given repeatedly of your unlawful acts against de jure American nationals on this land. Writs of discovery have been sit and stand as law on the records unrebutted, and all unrebutted affidavits stands as law. Affidavits of averment of jurisdiction stands as law on this record unrebutted. This is a universal default notification judgment. I hereby claim, proclaim, fully access, and declare my full, rightful, lawful estate of all land, all natural resources, all hereditaments and physical properties, and all commercial contracts, nunc pro tunc. No United States corporation, company, citizen, corporation, nor United States citizen has personam jurisdiction over my body nor my property at all times in this national trust of the people who are the Moorish National Republic federal government. All citizens are subject to me and are commanded to honor my sovereignty and to obey immediately each and all of my sovereign commands at all times. I am in propria persona, in proprio solo, in proprio haeredis, at all times and at all points in time. All debts are canceled and terminated. Nothing in this affidavit, declaration, or proclamation shall be construed as consent to any jurisdiction that is not the jurisdiction of our ancestral inherited estate. It was signed July 4th, 2019, my official Independence Day, from all corporate contracts even trying to apply to this Moorish American national Sharon, Tracey, Gale, and propria persona sui juris. And then I signed it. And I thumbprinted, and I sealed it, and I uploaded it to Scribd, to my Scribd account, and I uploaded it to Facebook under MACN-R followed by 60325. That's MACN-R followed by 60325. That's what I did, and that's what you're going to do. And why are you going to do it? Why are we doing it? We're doing it because they created a debt. They created the corporations under our nom de guerres using those EIN numbers and those nom de guerres. So they used, this is how they did the hypothecation. They used those nom de guerres and those EIN numbers to create all of those corporation companies. When you go and look on the GMI utility and you put in the Social Security, that EIN number, you'll see all the corporations that were established using your nom de guerre. And then they transfer all the debt to you. So now this is why they pull you over. This is why they send you all the bills and all of these things in the mail, because they're transferring the debt to you, and they need you to sign and authorize access so they can clear those debts. And when you don't do that, that's when they pull you over. That's when they hypothecate you and pull you into their tribunals to try to attempt to get you to come into their jurisdiction, because they only have access to your estate while you're dead and sleep and identify under the fraud. That's why this document, the Universal Affidavit of Termination of all corporate contracts, is required and necessary for them to not be able to pass on their debt. Now, some people will be like, well, why would we want to do that? We need to do that. We're doing it because, one, they can't pay the debt. They still owe, but they can't pay the debt, because the debt was established in fraud, therefore is in fraud. And you do not need to authenticate a so-called birth certificate or copyright a so-called nom de guerre to gain control over it, because that nom de guerre is the one tapping into your estate, and you should not need no hypothecator or some type of instrument established to hypothecate your estate. You should be identifying in your free national name and claiming your estate for yourself, and killing all corporate attachments to your estate that's being hypothecated. But like I said, they wouldn't have been able to establishing this, and they wouldn't have been able to establishing any of their corporation or any of these corporations if you weren't signing employment contracts under the nom de guerre, if you weren't applying for health insurance under the nom de guerres, because they needed your consent in order to do their hypothecation and their fraud. Because without you having those babies and assigning that EIN number and that birth certificate, they would not be able to do this. They need you to tap into the estate. They need you as the authorized signer on that account to access it. They can't access it without your acknowledgement. That's why when they come and they try to give you a citation and need you to sign it, they're tapping into your estate. They created a bond, they created a debt, and they need you to sign off so they can clear it, so they can get so they can get the proceeds, so they can tap into your estate, so they can continue to build their so-called illusional wealth that's on your back while not giving you any access to it. Your resources, your estate. Y'all got to download everything that I'm doing is to keep everybody not having to ask me these questions. The Moorish American Consulate grid is very necessary for the salvation of all Moorish American nationals. Stop going to these Moorish organizations trying to get you to join in their cause. Your cause is the uplifting of fallen humanity, you, your brothers, your sisters, your tribes. It's not aligning yourself with any particular tribe that is not building and unifying with the government. If you are a part of any organization that's not unified with the Moorish National Republic federal government and the Moorish American Consulate, I'd stay away from them. Or I would command that they align. Everybody has to align in unity. Tantiam est unum exitum. Tantiam est unum exitum. We're going to get free united. We have to unite. This is where the Sharifian peace officers is in regards to. And I don't care how you align or what so-called Moorish organization you are a part of, you are commanded to assist your government in controlling and supporting and defending and securing our vast estate. Because if you read that divine warning from the prophet over and over again, you'll understand exactly what I'm saying, exactly what he was telling us. And this was over almost 100 years ago he was saying this. Islam. What? We Grand Rising. You want me to say that? Is that what, we Grand Rising. Say it again. We Grand Rising the bar. We Grand Rising the bar.
Yeah, based on what you was just saying.
We Grand Rising the bar. It's not clicking. We Grand Rise the bar.
Yeah.
So. Stop sleeping. That's all I can say. Stop sleeping. Wake your people up. But don't sit here and waste your time and people who, at this state of the game, don't even know what you're talking about. And especially, I actually had a conversation with a Moabitess who was looking at my shirt, talking about, you know, I'm identifying with God. I'm like, well, who's the God? Because that's government ordinances and departments. So who's the God? Who's the government ordinances and departments? It's all right if you want to align with God, but who's God? Identify him, because that'll tell us if you are who you say you are and you're aligning in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Because I know what you're saying. You don't know what you're saying when you're making those affirmations, because everything you speak is an affirmation of truth, your truth, regardless of how you may not know what you're saying because you're ignorant. So y'all people that say I'm Negro, colored, and black, y'all might want to stop saying that altogether. And if you don't know what to say, just don't say nothing. That's what I would say. Until you know what to say, where you are competent, just don't say nothing. Just ignore it. Act like I ain't even saying nothing. Just walk by, be like, I don't know what she talking to. But don't never say something that is going to let everybody know that they can continue to violate you because you don't know or stand on law, and because you're outside of it. Therefore, they'll violate you. And me and we are a thought of Allah, Islam. Yes, we are a thought of Allah, all of us. Because Allah is what? All law. If you stand on law, you can't be violated, you can't be subjugated, you can't be victimized, because you know law. Therefore, nobody will sit here and try to hypothecate you like the bandits, terrorists, outlaws, and human traffickers they really are. Islam? Any questions before we get off this platform and we go enjoy the sights? We go enjoy City Hall, Philadelphia, because I think we're going to walk all the way down to the Art Museum. We want to walk all the way down to the Art Museum? We might want to eat first for that walk. Because that's a walk. And you get to see this our beautiful empire. I want to show you this beautiful empire. Can I? Wait a minute, let's see what it's on. Oh, we on 29%. So I can unplug this real quick. I want to show you the beautiful... Oh, it don't let me do it. Like, it just be doing stupid stuff. It never shows me how to turn the camera around. I can't stand. They be trying to. I just turn the screen. Yeah, let's see. You see that? Oh God. Oh goodness. It's a glare. I'm seeing the glare. You see that beautiful building? That's our capital. That's where the Moroccan Empire gonna be really, really shortly. Really, really shortly. That's our beacon. City Hall, Center City, Philadelphia. And I told y'all at the last minute, right? I told y'all at the last minute that I was going to be down here because I really wanted to just relax. I I did a whole bunch of nationality identification cards. I got like a handful. But Moors, don't send me no thumbprint and don't take no picture. No, we have order forms. We have order forms for nationality. I'm going to give them a unique number so you can just go research it. And the unique number, because I'm going to give it to you now, but I haven't uploaded it yet because I got to go home and do all of that. But it's going to be MACN-F for form. It's going to be MACN-F for form. So it's going to be so the first form is going to be nationality identification cards. It's just going to be the first form. So that's going to be MACN-F001. MACN-F001. That's going to be for the form for ordering your nationality identification cards. We have travel cards as well as the nationality identification cards. They are for a low deal cost of $35 if you want to get them individually, but if you want to get the nationality along with the travel card, you're going to get, you can get them both for 10 FRNs, okay? And I'm going to show you mine. And all my children, every process I've done, I freed my babies a long time ago. My babies is free, and that was my job as their mother to free them. Now I know this is backwards, so this is the travel card, this is the nationality identification card. This is the travel card, this is the nationality identification card. And then if you turn them around, this is what the backs look like, okay? And we have authorized consuls that do these nationality cards because a lot of Moors out there are so ignorant and they're putting barcodes on stuff, doing all types of corporate stuff. We have certain people that we send Moors to because we don't know what these other Moors are doing. Because when you sign commissioning documents, you're required to stay in alignment with the government. So if they're not commissioned to do nationality identification cards, you'll know this because they'll have a consul commissioning letter. If they don't have a consul commissioning letter and they're doing nationality identification cards, they're not affiliated with the Moorish National Republic federal government or the Moorish American Consulate, and you can't come to us when you get violated, all right? Because you got to know exactly what you're doing. So just like how we sit here and say to these Albions, who's your delegation of authority, you got to say that to your own people too. Because they sit here and create, you know, we love to pimp our own people and to pimp our nation. We like live off of vibrating low for some fiat. A lot of our people live off of that nonsense. The kind of pen you use to sign, you just use a red pen, that's it. Just a red pen. North Carolina, if you domicile in North Carolina Republic, you can go to Darien's Hatfield L. Darien's Hatfield L. I'm going to update the directory because we've appointed more viziers, so we have more viziers to cover more areas. So I'm going to update that document with additional mailing locations. My right hand woman here in the Northeast, which represents New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania, Baltimore, Maryland. I'm Connecticut too. I don't know. I'm gonna have the detailed list, so I know you will go. My right hand man is Fatima Vizir Bahir Bay. It's so many other things in between that, and if she's on here, she can text it in the comment section and give her information because now she's doing nationalities down there. So if you're local to the New Jersey territory, you can contact her directly to help you with nationality, and ordering the nationality identification cards will be coming down this way. Islam Wars. I was like, so we're increasing, and we'll have the Sharifian appointments up, and they'll be added to that list. So all of this, there's going to be an internal document, and there's going to be an external document for you. The internal document is going to be for all the viziers, so they know who's within their region, or I'm sorry, within their territory. Fatima Yasmin El Basir Bey. Fatima Yasmin El Basir Bey, Islam. She is the vizier of the New York, I keep saying New York, the New Jersey territory. We got Demetrius Barker Bey, his New York territory. We got Brandy Bay of upstate New York territory. We have, oh goodness, a developing post head coming up down in Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland territory. So we are getting Northeast down and structured, but we're assisting all of the regions, the territories, to get everybody adjusted. So the Sharifian officer, peace officers are very important, and they are the only sanctioned, lawful, delegated of authority on this landmass, because they have been authorized by the Moorish National Republic Federal Government and the Moorish American Consulate and the actual Supreme Judiciary on this landmass. So they will have delegated authority, they will have actual badges that mean something, and they will be sitting here instilling peace on this land, because Albions, you're going to stop warring against us, because we're not warring against you, but you're going to give back everything that you've stolen. And you're going to get subject papers for those who want to live based on the 5 pillars of light on love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You have to give us some minutes, because we're watching you. So stop texting me hate messages, because I'm doing what my mother sent me here to do. I'm doing what my mother sent me here to do. I am doing, Sharon Tracey Gale Bay is doing what her mother sent her here to do. She sent me here to be a beacon of light for my people, to be a beacon of light for all my people, because contrary to popular belief, Albions, y'all are ours. Y'all are our subjects. Y'all are our people. But you're going to do what we tell you to do, based on love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Because like I said, we're not at war with you. We're at peace. But we're going to do it peacefully, and you're going to do what we tell you to do. Because we are the government, we are the law. And you are subject to us. Contrary to what you feel, what you're being misled to believe, you've been lied to just like we've been lied to. So you are coming from a point of ignorance as well. And we love you. And I can't even say that I don't. I love all man, even mankind. And I understand what you deal with and what violations that you've been going through ancestrally. We do get that. But this is a new time, and the prophet said we have to do right by all. That includes you, but you have to do right as well. So when we send the repossession orders, when we send our lawful administrative processes for reclaiming our vast estate, it is your responsibility as subjects here at Morocco to vacate those properties, and it is the corporate sheriff's office responsibility and the corporate policy enforcers' responsibility. When we send those directives, when we send you copies of those documentations, we're not sending them to you just for you to throw them away or do whatever it is that you're currently doing with them. You are required, you are commanded to read them and follow those commands. So you're required to go to those properties and to vacate those people for us to have a peaceful transition. That is the only thing you're commanded to do. You're not commanded to pull over and harass any Moorish American nationals. I don't care what signs and sigils they have on their conveyances. I don't care if they have a so-called license plate, and I don't care if they have stickers in the front. If they are Moorish American nationals and they identify as such, you are to vacate immediately, and you don't have authority to pull over anything anyway. You are only supposed to be pulling over your so-called citizens, and they are Albions. I said a lot. Islam, any questions? Because I'm getting off and we're going to go chill. We're going to go chill. Because I came down here to go see Philadelphia's Shakamoxum. Philadelphia's Shakamoxum. And I love you all. And if you want to come and stand in solidarity with me on Monday, come. And stand in solidarity with me on Monday. Be there by 9 or 8:30. And let's bang that ass. And stand on personam jurisdiction, and that is it. So what is the mantra again? I am Sharon Tracey Gale Bay, Moorish American National, in proprio persona, sui juris, in proprio solo, in proprio heredis, at all times and at all points in time. I am a descendant of the great pharaohs of Kemet and the Moabites and the Canaanites. I am the law, and I am the government, and I command you state your name and nationality for the record on the record without any further comment. You do not have jurisdiction over me, and I command you set me free, return my property, cease and desist all actions against me. This is my notice of intent to lien you if you not do as commanded and set me free. Notice to agent is notice the principal. Notice the principal is notice the agent. And the one, you can add it. Light thinks it adds subject matter. I don't think so. Add it if you want. Omit it if you want. I do not stand as security for your false debt of the Jesuit order, being the United States Corporation and its franchised municipalities on corporate business. I do not stand as surety for your corporate business. Say that over thrice. Tantium est unum exitum, tantium est unum exitum, tantium est unum exitum. Allah is the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali Amin. Allah is the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali Amin. Allah is the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. He is our protector by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali Amin. You can't see it because it's over here. So if you want to get in the camera, you got to get behind me. You got to get behind me if you want to get in the camera.
Oh, hell
You can't
yeah.
get in the front, you got to get behind me.
Hell yeah, what's going on?
Islam. Pax Amor.
What's up, everybody?
Who are you and what's your nationality?
I'm Moroccan. My name is
Oh,
Amor.
he's Moroccan. Oh, he's from the kingdom, y'all. Here we go, from the kingdom of Morocco. When was the Moroccan kingdom established?
Forever. It's been around forever.
Tell me when.
It's been around forever.
You have an actual start date. Please stop lying to yourself.
I actually...
When?
12th centuries.
When was the Moroccan kingdom established?
The actual king...
When? He
The
doesn't
actual-
know.
I
He
don't.
can't even say that. It's
actually don't.
1956.
Oh, no. We exist way before then.
What's your
We exist-
nationality?
Moroccan. But we
What is
exist
your-
way
wait a
before
minute.
the French
What's
came
your mom?
over.
What's your mom?
She's Moroccan.
No, what's your mom?
What's her name, you mean?
What is your grandmother? How does she identify?
Oh, she identifies as Moroccan.
Before that?
Yeah. She
Who?
identifies as Moroccan.
So give me some
As
history.
far as I know.
Give me some
As far as
history.
I know.
Yes, because I think you're wrong. But give me some information as to
Yeah,
how.
ask me.
Give me some information as
Go
to
right
how
ahead.
you settled in the kingdom of Morocco. Because what landmass is that on?
In Africa.
Don't you know all the continents are Asia
I
Minor?
didn't know that.
They're all Asia. Africa was a corporation company established by those who hypothecated your state. And
That's
to claim
true.
to be
That's
outside of your nativity is why you get violated, why we get violated in general.
That's
So,
true.
so what is that continent? What was that continent before it was called Africa? Do you know?
No, I don't.
Find out. Do you know?
I don't.
What was the question?
What was the continent of
What
Africa
continent is it
before?
called
It
now?
was called Africa.
What's,
called-
what's the name of the continent?
It's called
Marrakesh?
Africa.
Okay. And what was the name of that place before? Ask your
Actually don't
grandmother.
know.
Ask your grandmother.
I don't think she knows, honestly.
She gotta know. Your grandmother, if your grandmother doesn't know, your great grandmother knows. Because there was a way you were identifying before hypothecation and colonialism. And you need to find out what that is.
That's very true. And you know, to
Because
be
you could
to
be
be
a
honest with you,
descendant.
to be
Because
honest
I
with
need
you,
to verify it completely.
yeah,
Because you look Asiatic.
I actually
Because
don't know.
Moroccans are Moabites. They look like me. So because you're light skinned,
Oh,
that
that's
means
true.
you've been
Oh,
bleeding
that's
in with the French.
That's true.
And
That's
you've been
very
bleeding
true.
in. So
That is
you don't
very
know
true.
which side you fall on. So you
That's
could be
very
French
true.
or you could be a Moroccan.
That is
but it
very
depends
true.
on who your mother is.
But I don't want to be French though.
You gotta be who you are.
That's true.
But if your mother is Moroccan, you Moroccan and you are my brother. But
I
you
appreciate
gotta tell me
I appreciate
emphatically who you are. You gotta know who that is. And you'll track it through your mother, not through your father, because descendancy comes through the mother.
And I love my mama.
And you're supposed to love your
Hell
mother.
yeah.
She created you. You wouldn't be here without her. Pax that some more peace and
That is a
love.
fact. That is a fact. I'm
Islam.
glad I got to see you.
Islam.
I'm glad I got
I
to
know
see
because
you.
we be having a lot of individuals from the Moroccan continent wanting to come in on the Moorish National Republic federal government webpage, and we would love to have you, but you got to know your history.
That is very true.
And we
I don't
only-
know a lot.
You
to be
gotta
honest with
find out.
To be honest with you.
But it's lovely meeting you guys.
It's
It's
nice
Can
meeting
we
you.
take a photo? Come on in the picture, because this is
Hell
the
yeah.
Moroccan flag.
Hell
But he
yeah.
got to find out if he's French or Moroccan, and his mother can tell him which one he is. Pax that some more.
Thank you.
Islam.
care.
Peace and love. That was awesome.
Lovely way to close the day.
Huh?
Just say lovely way to close the day.
Islam, Pax et Amor. See, the reality is we have to teach everybody on the land masses who they are, because our grandmothers, as well as our mothers, have been identifying under these Nam de Gears for several generations. And because they've been identifying for several generations, nobody knows where their true bloodline and their descendancy falls. So he said that he's French and Moroccan, right? Because the French colonized. I was like, because he has highly not dark skin, that means their ancestors been blending, right? But he can find out exactly what his descendability, whether it be French or whether it be Moroccan, by who his mother is ancestrally. And your mother determines descendability, not your sons. So if you come from an Albion Stargate, you are an Albion. If you come from an Asiatic Stargate, you are an Asiatic. And if you're one or the other, the only difference is one is inheritable, here at Morocco because they have bloodline ties, and one is a subject who has privileges that ain't got nothing. No other so-called way you identify is better than identifying as a subject of Morocco, because we bang, we are under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and we were very, very great to our subjects because we have laws and we follow those laws. Pax up to more, peace and love. Dies in bonum. Pax up to more, people. This never lets me close the way I want to.